It is the Volquest Stock Report on this Chattanooga week. Brent, we'll start with you. Stock up for you coming out of fall camp is what?
Well, I almost picked just playing football because I think we're all kind of tired about talking about this thing. We want to see what it looks like. But my stock up coming into the week of, and the first game is Joshua Joseph. I like a guy who's as transparent, AP, as he was when he met with the media about, yeah, I was jealous of James Pierce. Yeah, I realized I missed opportunity in year two. Here's a guy who has focused on his nutrition. He's focused on taking care of his body the right way in the offseason. He's added weight, he's added muscle. I think, he had a good first year. He's obviously got plenty of talent, Austin. He didn't maximize the use of his sophomore season. I think he's trying to make up for lost time. Just like where he's at in the headspace, he's kind of that new guy, right? I mean, we saw it with Jalen Hyatt and Jalen Wright, just their dedication to the game. It feels like Joshua Joseph is kind of this year's version of those guys from an offseason dedication standpoint.
For me, it's going to be stock up Cooper Mays. And you didn't have him a year ago for the first month of the season. He has been steady Eddie all through fall camp. And he's the guy you want snapping the ball, a center who's been the center for the last 4 years. Every game basically every game under the Josh Heupel era, he's been your guy snapping the ball. And he's doing it to what is a very inexperienced Nico Iamaleava. Nico, uber talented, but has only got one start under his belt. Having Cooper snap him the ball is a huge deal. I think that's why you look at him there with the cowboy hat on. He's very comfortable in his own skin. I don't think he will hesitate 1 minute to be a leader in the huddle, much like his dad and others. When a younger Peyton Manning was in the huddle back in 1994. So for me, I'm going to go Cooper Mays stock up. Stock down for me is the fact that this is a 12:45 kickoff. Either noon or not noon, right? Like what are we doing here? This weird 12:45 time.
You don't like the extra 45 minutes, man?
No, let's get.
You're on the cusp of being able to buy lunch at the drive-through on the way to the stadium, as opposed to breakfast.
At Chick-fil-A, you can always get lunch, even if it's 8 o'clock in the morning. For me, I'm not a big fan of the new times. But 12:45 kickoff. Stock down for you is what?
To me, it's more of an unknown, I guess. But it's just what kind of shape are these offensive guys in? Like Cooper Mays knows what's coming, right? He knows how to pace himself. Even though they've limited him some, Dylan Sampson's been limited, but those guys know how to pace themselves in a game. Where is Lance? Where's Lance Hurd? Where's John Campbell early in this game when they haven't played extended snaps and scrimmages? What does that look like? You get in that second series, AP. What if you hit a 30 or 40-yard play? How much are you sucking wind when you get to that next snap? Javante Spraggins even admitted, yeah, it's a little bit tough that first quarter. Sometimes that monkey can jump on your back a little bit. So I just don't know, because those guys haven't got as much work as you would like. There's a difference in game shape and practice shape, so we'll see what they look like. I know that's a very minor thing, but I'm curious to see what that looks like.
Stock stagnant for me is going to be Cam Seldon. He had the off-season labrum injury. Got that cleaned up, has healed remarkably well. Finally got the shackles and the red jersey taken off in the last week or so. Been able to get thudded up in practice. Hasn't been really hit, but I mean, he's not been two-hand touch either. So, I think getting him back out there is big this week. Just getting him kind of knocked around a little bit will be big for Cam Seldon. But until he gets in there and starts to establish himself, he's going to remain stock stagnant for me.
Yeah, stock stagnant for me is in the kicking game with Max Gilbert as a place kicker. A lot of us go to the putting green, AP, and we make a lot of putts. We make those big breakers, and we roll in all the 4 and 5 footers with no problem. We can, hammer down 4 or 5 of them in a row, and then you get to the green and you're putting for birdie from 4 feet, or in my case, you're putting for par on a rare occasion from 4 feet out or 5 feet out, and suddenly that putt gets a lot harder than it was on the practice green. I think Max has had a good fall. I don't think there's any concern about his ability. But there's a difference in kicking in practice with it on the line versus kicking in a game in front of a bunch of fans. So until he goes out and proves and makes kicks in games, I think it's going to be stock stagnant with him. I think this is a big week for him to get a couple of kicks under his belt.
Let's look at the Volquest Stock Report as we head into this Chattanooga game. Football is back. It all It kicked off 12:45. Stock down for me on Saturday.
Hey, we were playing, man. Whatever time.
I agree. I'm just glad it's early from the standpoint of, it's Chattanooga. Nobody's waiting around all day, including the players. I'm sure they would call that a stock up. That 12:45 kickoff. He's Brent Hubbs. I'm Austin Price.